characteristic of photon. Characteristic of photon. So first we define a photon. First point, in the interaction of radiation with matter, radiation behave behaves as if it is made of particles called photons. So a definition, the interaction of radiation with matter, the radiation behaves if it is made of particle, is called photon. Second, each photon has each photon has energy equal to h mu and momentum P is equal to h mu by c, means h upon lambda, where c is equal to speed of light in a vacuum.
સર કાલે પેલું તમને ફોટો મોકલ્યા એ તમે જોયું કેવું એટલે આમ ક્વેશ્ચન કેવા છે આમ?
હા, ઈઝી છે, એ સોલ્વ કરવાના ફર્સ્ટ બધા જ.
હા સર થઈ ગયા છે ઓલમોસ્ટ બધા.
ઓકે, ડાઉટ હોય તો પૂછી લેવાનું.
હા સર.
થર્ડ, all photons of light of a particular frequency mu or wavelength lambda have the same energy. Means energy is equal to h mu equal to hc upon lambda, and momentum P is equal to h mu by c equal to h upon lambda. Independent of the intensity of the radiation. Fourth properties, photon are electrically neutral and are not deflected by electric and magnetic field. Photons are electrically neutral, are not deflected by electric and magnetic fields. Fifth properties. In a photon, particle collision, the total energy and total momentum are conserved. However, the numbers of photons may not be conserved in a collision. The photon may be absorbed or new photon may be created. In a photon particle collision, the total energy and total momentum are conserved. However, numbers of photons may not be conserved in a collision. Means the photon may be absorbed or a new photon may be created. Okay. So all process in the world, the energy and momentum always conserved, but mass may be conserved or not conserved. 6. If the intensity of light of a given wavelength is increase, there is an increase in the numbers of photons incident on a given area in a given time. But the energy of each photon remain the same. Okay, this is the sixth property of the photon. Some other property of the photon are as follow. Some other property, some property not given in a book, but we study. Some other property of photons, some other properties of photon. First, the frequency. The frequency of a photon does not change as it travel travels from one medium to other medium to other medium. Frequency is the property of the source, not a property of the medium. Okay. Second,
Yes, sir.
the speed of the photon, the speed of the photon change as it travel through different media due to change in its wavelength. Frequency does not change. It travel one medium to other, but speed change if travel one medium to other medium because wavelength change. That means frequency is the properties of the source, not a medium. Speed and wavelength is the property of the medium, not a source. Okay, तो ये हमें
Okay, sir.
याद रखना है. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Third, the rest mass of a photon is zero. Is that a photon cannot exist at rest mass. Exist at rest. For a photon, V equal to C. Its velocity is the same like velocity of light, V equal to C. Now rest mass m0 is equal to m under root 1 minus v square by c square. Einstein give this rest mass equation, m under root 1 minus c square by c square is equal to 0. Fourth, from Einstein mass energy relation, mass of photon is m, then energy is equal to mc square is equal to h mu, or here we take m is equal to h mu by c square. And last, fifth, the linear momentum P is equal to mc is equal to h mu by c is equal to h upon lambda. This is some other property of the photons. Now, determine the next question we take. Next question. Determine the Planck constant and work function from the Einstein theory. Determine of Planck constant and work function. Determine the Planck constant and work function. Now, according to Einstein theory, maximum kinetic energy of the emitting electron, Ke is equal to h mu minus phi 0. Now, stopping potential is V naught, then Ke maximum, max is equal to EV naught. Put here, EV naught is equal to h mu minus phi 0. Now V naught is equal to h by E mu minus phi 0 by E. Phi 0 is the work function. Now take equation 1. Compare this equation y equal to mx plus c. Now y की जगह पर v नॉट है, m की जगह पर h by e है, x की जगह पर म्यू है और c की जगह पर माइनस 5/0 है. ड्रॉ ग्राफ स्टॉपिंग पोटेंशियल वर्सेस फ्रीक्वेंसी, v नॉट वर्सेस फ्रीक्वेंसी. Now take a graph. This is the O, so this value is minus phi naught by E. This is the threshold frequency. Now slope of this graph is h upon E. Slope. This is the frequency of incident light. This is the stopping potential. Now here, slope is equal to tan theta. Now we take a theta. Slope is equal to tan theta is equal to h upon E. Then h is equal to E into tan theta. Okay. So tan theta means slope. So E into slope. तो ग्राफ पर से हम प्लैंक कांस्टेंट की वैल्यू डिफाइन कर सकते हैं. नाउ दिस इज द इंटरसेक्शन ऑफ वाई एक्सिस, पोटेंशियल एक्सिस. तो नाउ इंटरसेप्ट ऑन द वर्टिकल एक्सिस, इंटरसेप्ट ऑन वर्टिकल axis minus phi naught by E. Then here phi naught is equal to E into magnitude of intercept on वर्टिकल एक्सिस. तो h और फाई की वैल्यू हम इस तरह से ग्राफ से हम निकाल सकते हैं. ओके, तो ऐसे हम ग्राफ पर से फाइंड कर सकते हैं.
ओके.
अब सम एग्जाम्पल है, वो सब सोल्व करना है। एकदम इजी है एग्जाम्पल। और लास्ट थियरी है हमारे पास, ड्यूअल नेचर ऑफ मैटर। लास्ट थियरी, ड्यूअल नेचर ऑफ मैटर। और उसके बाद द ब्रोगली वेवलेंथ। ड्यूअल नेचर ऑफ मैटर means de Broglie waves. Now, you study in chemistry in 11, chapter number 1, dual nature of matter, the Broglie wavelength. In 1924, French physicist Louis de Broglie put forward the bold hypothesis, put forward the bold hypothesis that material particles in motion should display wave like properties. Means moving material particle should display wave like property, behave like a wave. His reasoning was based on the following two considerations. First consideration, the two physical quantity which govern all the forms of the physical universe are mass and energy. Mass and energy means Einstein mass energy relationship E is equal to mc square. So that there is a complete equivalence between, so that there is a complete equivalent between matter means mass, and radiation means energy. there must be a mutual symmetry, between matter, means mass, and radiation. First consideration. Second consideration. Second consideration. Nature loves. Nature loves symmetry. Means nature loves symmetry. Second consideration, since the radiation has dual nature. Dual nature. Therefore, from symmetry consideration, the de Broglie predicted that matter and that matter must also possess dual nature. Dual nature means particle like electron, proton, or neutron act should not only behave like a mass point, but they should have also exit wave nature when the motion. Electron, proton, and neutron behave like a wave also, not only matter. Okay, and this we called hypothesis of the de Broglie. So we write hypothesis of the de Broglie. The associated waves associated with material particle in motion are called matter or de Broglie waves, and their wavelength is called de Broglie wavelength. De Broglie wavelength. Now we derive the Broglie wavelength. So Einstein theory. So E is equal to energy equal to E is equal to H mu. Mass energy equation E equal to mc square. Now compare these two equations. Mc square is equal to H mu. Now mc square mu equal to C by lambda. CC cancel both sides. Okay. then lambda is equal to h upon mc. H upon mc. mc is equal to momentum of the photon. So we take p, h upon p. Now, this is the momentum of the this is the wavelength of the photon. But according to de Broglie wavelength, if particle have a mass m and its velocity v, then its momentum p equal to m into v. Then wavelength lambda equal to h upon p means h upon m. So means here particle behave like a wave. Okay, this is the de Broglie wavelength equation. In this equation, first, wavelength of the particle is reciprocal of the its momentum. Second, we take if v equal to 0, v equal to 0 in this equation, so lambda is equal to h upon 0 is equal to infinite. Wavelength is infinite. Means this implies that waves are associated with material particle only when they are in motion. Third, to be associated with a de Broglie wave, a particle need not have a charge. Means that is why de Broglie waves are also known as matter wave. Fourth, de Broglie wave cannot be electromagnetic, EM, electromagnetic in nature. Because electromagnetic wave, EM wave, are only associated with accelerated charge particle. आगे हमने लिया था here To be associated with de Broglie wave, a particle need not have a charge. That is why de Broglie waves are also known as matter waves. And last, de Broglie wave cannot be electromagnetic in nature because in electromagnetic waves are only associated with the accelerated charged particle. तो ये डी ब्रोगली वेवलेंथ में ये 4 प्रॉपर्टीज हमें याद रखनी है, एमसीक्यू के रिगार्डिंग है। तो ये लास्ट टॉपिक था इस चैप्टर का। अब कल टेक्स्ट बुक का जो एग्जाम्पल है वो, और एक्सरसाइज का जो एग्जाम्पल है एनसीईआरटी के, वो मुझे सोल्व करके तुझे मुझे पीडीएफ भेजना है। ओके, और कल के लेक्चर में उसका डाउट सॉल्यूशन हो गए। क्लियर?
ओके सर।
ये कल मिलेंगे, कल उसके डाउट मुझे पूछने हैं।
हाँ सर।
ओके,
एग्जाम्पल
और
एग्जाम्पल और
एक्सरसाइज दोनों
पूरी।
पूरी पूरी वो इजी है, एकदम इजी है। कल
ओके
तो
सर।
स्कूल में हॉलीडे होगा ना?
हाँ सर, कल हॉलीडे पर सर कल दूसरा क्लास है एक।
तो एक एग्जाम्पल करके देना, एक्सरसाइज संडे देना। ओके,
ओके सर, डन।
चलो,
डन डन सर।
ओके,
बाय सर।
बाय।